You've come to the right place if you're a course creator looking to build more impact, income, and freedom. LMScast is the #1 podcast for course creators just like you. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I'm the co-founder of the most powerful tool for building, selling, and protecting engaging online courses called LifterLMS. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMScast. My name's Chris Badgett and I'm joined by two very special guests, Cory Jenkins and Jonathan Hall from AskMeGrove Studios and Divi Space. How are you doing, guys?
Doing great. Good to see you, Chris.
Excellent. Well, it's good to have you here. These guys are behind the new add-on for LifterLMS called Course Scheduler, which allows you to run kind of like cohorts or groups of people through the same course, but having different start dates, which was definitely a big problem and opportunity in the community. I'm really glad your company stepped in to build a product and solve that. Can you tell us what inspired the creation of that product?
Yeah, I think it was us getting into the education world, if you will. And anybody who knows our company knows that we're very heavy into Divi. So we've created a couple of Divi courses, and in the course of running those courses and putting students through, we really tried to have students start and end on the same date because just kind of that community aspect of students learning together. They're in a Facebook group related to the course together, and it really helps to kind of have everybody move through the course around the same time for several reasons. One is the community aspect. Two is kind of internally, so we can plan out at a certain time, maybe break in the middle of the course, and we do like a webinar or something else. So I guess it was kind of like a pain point for us. LifterLMS is great. We love it. We preach it everywhere, but it was kind of a pain point for us having those preset enrollment dates. So basically what it allows us to do is to sell a course and then, not pull it off the shelf. People can purchase the course maybe in the middle of another enrollment period, but they won't be able to start it until the next enrollment period begins. So yeah, I guess that's kind of what inspired us as a necessity.
You guys are doing, is it always available, or there's kind of launches where you open enrollment a couple times a year or something like that?
Well, that's how we've done it before in the past is just kind of have big pushes for enrollment. And we may still be doing that depending on the course, but this plugin, the way that we have it, really does allow us to kind of keep the product on the shelf. And even if somebody wants to purchase it, they'll just have to kind of wait around till that next start date begins. So,
well, I remember when I got a demo from Jonathan, and I saw there's the course start date, and you turn on the course time period in Lifter. You got a course start date, you got a course end date. And if people come through after that start date, you can change those numbers and they'll come into a future date start time. And then at the bottom, you have this really elegant way to automate a cadence that you want to do, whether that's twice a year or every month. A new group can start, and then you can tell it to open it up, for people to enroll whatever amount of time before the start date. What can you tell us about how you came to that as the solution? I think it's really cool. I'd just love to hear more about how that evolved.
Yeah, for sure. I think it just fits the pattern of how a lot of people may be offering their courses. If they do offer multiple sessions or instances of a course at different dates, it's typically going to be on a predefined schedule. Say they run a course every month or every 3 months or whatever their time frame is, and that feature just allows them to automate changing those course dates, so that rather than having to come into the course every time they offer every time it's time to start offering the course, another session of the course, they can have it automated so that their website automatically updates those dates on that predefined schedule. And that's just one less thing that they have to worry about doing on a regular basis, especially for courses that are offered frequently. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful. When I saw that, it was not only cool that you had it up there, but just to be able to like kind of set it and forget it if you are going to do every year, every month, the same thing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to take credit for that, but but yeah, that's one of those things that Jonathan came up with during development, which is like a lot of our products. He's just really good at coming up with like, different solutions, and yeah, it turned out really great.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, you guys have been in the course space relatively not that long. Like, how long has it been? Like a year or 2 years, or what is it?
Yeah, I think it's been a little over a year, but
Okay.
yeah, not too long. So yeah, we're still definitely learning the ropes, and always kind of transitioning the way that we do things. So yeah, we're still relative newbies. So
So you've already launched in 1 year 3 courses. What do you think? And you have more on the horizon. What do you think I guess what contributed to the success of the first one? Because if that one hadn't worked out, maybe you wouldn't have done a second one or whatever. But it seems to be really working out for you. And I know some course creators, when they first start, they struggle, even if they do have a community. I know you guys have done a great job building a community, especially in the Divi and the WordPress space. But what do you think led to that first launch working out well for you in pretty short time? I mean, you guys came on strong. It was really cool to watch.
yeah, I think we were all kind of like blown away by the success of our first course, which was transforming Divi with CSS and jQuery. And I think, for anybody who knows the Divi community, it's massive. I mean, you have these like multiple Facebook groups that are up around like 30,000 people. And ourselves, David and I got in that space very early on, and we built up an awesome customer base. And I think the course just like really hit the nail on the head of like what the community was wanting. And, they were really wanting to take Divi to that next level and learn how to, with CSS and with jQuery, make their Divi site, which Divi's already awesome. You can do so much with it, but take it to that next level, like a, developer type level. So I think there was just like a massive need for it. And the community saw it and embraced it. So.
And what inspired that one? Like, why that one?
I think it was just us like recognizing that need.
Yeah.
We pay a lot of attention to the community and in the Facebook groups and what they're asking for, what their pain points are. And, I think it was us just kind of recognizing the need and knowing the community so well. So it's kind of like second nature to us. We've been in the Divi community for so long.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like with the course scheduler, you guys see pain points, and then you're like, oh, maybe we can solve that or help people in some way, which leads me to my next question is, with AskMeGrove Studios, you guys do a lot of different things. So what's in the stack? Like, you guys have like software products, you have courses, you have clients, right? Like, is there anything else? Am I missing anything?
Well, yeah, we've definitely grown over time. We started off as AskMeGrove Studios, myself and David, a couple of know nothings, throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. And we made our first product, which kind of took off. It was like a footer editor for Divi, just kind of simple, overwrites the footer credits, for people who don't like opening up PHP files and things.
How long ago was that?
Oh, geez, that's been about 4 years now.
Okay.
So started off really slow, and then it's just kind of snowballed. We acquired Divi Space a couple of years ago, and then Jonathan and his company Potent Plugins joined our team and our company last year. So and Potent Plugins really brought us more into the WordPress space because Jonathan had developed some really awesome like WooCommerce plugins and BBPress type plugins that kind of got us out of that Divi niche, if you will, and kind of opened our eyes to the WordPress community as a whole.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah. and yeah, learning the LMS stuff that we're doing and client work. So we kind of do a bit of everything.
Right on. Jonathan, what was the like with Potent plugins? If you were in WooCommerce and BuddyPress or BBPress, I'm not sure which one or both. What was your focus, or how did you get what was your focus for development?
Well, I think I started out in a very similar way that the development for the Course Scheduler plugin started out, and that is just by identifying a need that was unmet. In my case, it was I was doing client sites as well, and they needed a solution for WooCommerce reporting, and it was just a need that was out there for my clients, obviously for others as well. So I published a free plugin on the WordPress repo, and it went from there. Then further development was at least in part driven by the feedback I was getting, more needs that were coming to light. Another plugin, the BBPress, I entered the BBPress space again through a client site I was developing that had a need for image uploads, effective image uploads in BBPress that wasn't met very well by existing solutions. So again, very much customer needs driven, both for client sites and customers of the products that I was developing and selling at that point. So yeah, basically just meeting the needs that were out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's a nice thing about having Jonathan on our team now, because we'll, kind of the way the course scheduler plugin came along, we'll have like an internal need for our website. It might be for e-commerce, it might be for something else. And, Jonathan is just like amazing. He'll spin something up so fast. It's hard to believe. So yeah, we have a number of like internal products that we've developed that probably could go commercial. But yeah, this was the first one that we were like really excited about to get it out into the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have to ask you, Jonathan, because you mentioned forums, which is something that a lot of course creators or some get into, and BBPress specifically, kind of the go-to WordPress option. What is it? What did the image plugin do, or what does it do? Like I know, BBPress by itself can be pretty plain, and it doesn't, like, the editor that people type into is pretty generic to start. And then there's other plugins out there. What did your image plugin do?
Yeah, I basically enhance the what you see is what you get post editor for forum posts by adding a button to it where they could upload an image, select it from their computer. Now it supports drag and drop from their computer and or their mobile device, and put it directly inline into the forum post without having to, there were solutions out there that would let you attach a file to your post, but we needed a way to actually put an image inline into your post content rather than just attaching it. So that was just a solution that let them do that. And then building on that, we then developed a plugin that lets you store those uploaded images on Amazon Web Services as well to offload them off your server for larger forums. So a solution for managing your user uploaded images is what it turned out to be.
Wow, that's cool. What's it called?
Image upload for BBPress. Very, very simple. That's the free one. That's on WordPress.org. And then there's a pro version on AskMeGrove website, on Potent Plugins website. And there's also the add-on for Amazon S3.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's definitely naming the product for SEO reasons.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. I think people should name their courses and just make it obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing
What do
fancy.
people type when they're searching? What are they looking for? Better image upload for BBPress. That's cool. Well, with you guys, so you have your hands in a lot of different fires. Would you say you're still really focused? I know you're really focused on Divi, but are you going broader to just really serve the WordPress community in general, or even outside of that? Like, who are you serving?
Yeah. So I'd still say at this point we're definitely still probably 90% Divi, but our focus for this next year and beyond is moving out into the WordPress space in general. So we have a couple of really cool things in the pipeline. We're still definitely focusing on maintaining and improving our Divi products, but as far as our new product development goes, we're starting to kind of branch more out into the general WordPress space. So a lot of exciting things coming up.
Very cool. And how many people is AskMeGrove approximately?
Oh, our team currently is probably around 15 full-time people. And, that's everything from support staff to writers, to designers, to developers. And so, yeah, we always have, we're seems like we're ever expanding, and we've been really lucky with like some super talented people on board. I think we have one of the best staffs, like, in the whole WordPress, the WordPress sphere. We can just get some amazing things done.
Well, it definitely appears that way from the outside. That, I mean, you guys, I love the attitude, love how you roll. Everybody seems to, work together well and have a great attitude, which is awesome. What advice do you have for the course creators and membership site builders that are watching this? Often share a similarity to something you guys do, which is you've got your hands on a lot of different things. Maybe I have a service business and I'm getting into trying to package that into courses for the clients that can't afford me, or I'm trying to free up some of my personal time. And I also have this other thing over here. What are some tips you have for juggling all those different, like how inside of your company, 15 people or whatever, how do you divide up across all those different business units? Or is it just one big party?
Well, yeah, some days it definitely seems like one big party. I think Jonathan can attest. Sometimes it'll be like 5 of us on a Zoom call or something like that, 5 or 6 of us, kind of, throwing ideas around. But, we try to have like one person who's that driving force, in whatever project it might be, one person whose kind of responsibility is to kind of keep that moving forward. And then, for David and myself, we try to look at it, let's, hit our deadlines and try to have projected dates, for launch and stuff. So, I don't know, I'd say just, have fun with it. If it seems like too much and you're getting stressed and it's not fun, then you're probably doing it wrong. And maybe it's not time for you to launch that project. So yeah, I'd say just have fun with it and make sure that you have the resources available to do it right.
Do you guys like validate stuff before you build it, or do you just kind of go for it when you like identify a market need? Do you like test demand at all, or just kind of go for it because it seems obvious?
I'd like to say that there was a more like scientific method to it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times we kind of trust our gut, and, in certain instances we might, run by certain people, our idea, if it seems a little bit out of our depth in our comfort zone. But yeah, for the most part, and especially with our Divi products, like I mentioned earlier, we just know the community so well. And we're always like very confident launching those that it's going to solve a lot of needs and be a popular product.
So community building is a thing we talk about a lot in this podcast. And, I like to point out the difference between building an audience, like an email list, versus like building a community and engaging with the community. How have you guys really thrived in the Divi space? And it's obviously a big community, but how have you become so entrenched in it and also successful in it? Because I'm sure you're not just like yelling into the community all the time, buy my stuff. Like how does somebody be a good steward in a community?
Give back to the community. We are constantly releasing, if any of you out there follow our blogs, we're always releasing like, tutorials and free resources and helping people. A lot of times you'll see like myself or SJ, in the Facebook groups for the Divi community, just like, helping people. And if they have a problem, whether it might be with code or something else, just being there and kind of visible, helping people out. So in retrospect, over the past like 4 years or so, I think that's really what's attributed to our success, is just that giving back and offering, advice to people. I get, probably once a week, twice a week, somebody from the community, instant messaging me or something on Facebook asking questions. And I try to always like, talk to them and help them out, even if I might be a little busy that day. So yeah, that would be my advice. Give back.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Is there anything going on in the Divi community that you would say just seems like a trend, or what's going on? Like, what's new in the Divi community for those that are like, perhaps they're just looking for a community to join, or they're trying to figure out like, what theme should I use, or what page builder or whatever. Like, what's happening in the Divi community these days? Like, is there anything you can speak to just in general?
Yeah. Well, I think right now, I think the Divi community is kind of getting out of the Gutenberg apocalypse, which kind of gripped the whole community with fear for, I'd say, like almost a year. I mean, it was like all everybody talked about. I think what brings a lot of people, or what keeps a lot of people in the Divi community, is the Divi community itself. And I've never really seen anything like it, how, helpful the community members are to each other and welcoming to newcomers. So yeah, Divi always has exciting stuff coming out. They have like a, theme builder on the horizon, and they're always staying like, very cutting edge and ahead of the competition. So it's just kind of, the community is just kind of this gigantic beast that kind of governs itself and does a great job, without chaos. So
that's awesome. And you guys have a podcast too. Is it, I don't want to say it wrong. Is WP the podcast? Is that right?
Well, yeah. David and Tim have WP the podcast. And,
so you guys have more than one.
Well, I would say, so there's WP the podcast, and then there's Divi Chat, which is a weekly podcast on Tuesdays, and it's 5:00 Eastern, and that's kind of more like some members. David's in it, Tim's in it, Leslie Bernal. So there more people from the community are in it, and we do it from Zoom and then broadcast it live on YouTube. And we usually have like 20 people watching live and like asking questions, and it's kind of become this like gathering place for certain people. So yeah, I mean, Divi Chat and WP the podcast have been like very well received, and even to where we're like at a WordCamp and people will come up and like recognize us or something, and they'll be like, "Hey, you're the guy that talks too much on Divi Chat. You're the guy who rambles on there." So
I've been on some of your live Divi Chats, and it's always fun. You guys have a lot of banter and get into a lot of neat topics. It's really good.
Yeah.
So you've got some more courses coming. Can you tell us what they are? Like what's on the horizon on the education front?
Yeah, I'd say, well, the courses that we currently have on the education front, the couple that we have lined up are Divi based. We do have another Divi course coming out that kind of shows you, from the beginning to the end, how to, create Divi sites, and kind of goes over a little bit more remedial learning than transforming Divi with CSS and jQuery did. That was very much like, for a person who already knows Divi pretty well, probably knows a little bit of CSS, not super advanced, but I'd say for kind of like almost the power Divi users. And this one we're kind of stepping back and looking at the community as a whole, and we want to help those people from the beginning to the end. So not absolute beginners, but maybe they can, jump into the course at a certain time and pick up from where their skill level is. So, yeah, so I predict probably by the end of this year, we'll have about 3 more courses out.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, Cory, I wanted to thank you guys for coming on the podcast. I'm really excited about the course scheduler. If you're watching this and you have a course and you do product launches and like open your course, you need to have group cohorts that move through at different times, or you want to. It's a great tool. When I saw it, I was like, thank you. This is so awesome. It's much needed in the community, and one of our top requests. You guys obviously have your kind of ear to the ground, or at least are scratching your own itch. Opportunity when you see it. So thank you so much for making that plug-in. What's the best way for people to connect with you and find out about the course scheduler and all the other stuff you have going on?
Yeah. The best way is probably, if you want to check out the course scheduler, just go to our website, AskMeGroveStudios.com. And I'd say just kind of go through our whole slew of products. We have a lot of products that Jonathan developed before he joined our company are available on AskMeGroveStudios.com and Divi.space. Look through our products. We have some awesome stuff. And then just subscribe to our blog, and you'll get product announcements. And and then if you just want to drop us a line or something in support and ask a question, and see if we have a product that might fit your needs, then feel free.
That's awesome. And just one more question for Jonathan. Which one of the plugins or tools that you brought into the fold are you most excited about, or is the community most excited about that you'd like to share?
I think my products the ones I developed serve various different communities. So I guess it depends which community you're asking about. When it comes to WooCommerce, the product sales report plugins is a free and a pro one. Those are probably the ones that are the most that the community likes the most. It was a WooCommerce, then obviously BB like it was mentioning, the image upload plugin. That's the only product that serves that community, and that's definitely a popular one as well. And then one that I was pretty excited about is it's called Custom CSS and JavaScript. We have a free plugin in the WordPress repo. It's just a way to add custom code to your site. And then we have a pro version that has a ton of extra features, like you can have different tabs for code. You can compile Sass right in your WordPress without needing to use external tools. It's got syntax highlighting. It's got the whole 9 yards. So that's a really useful product that I was pretty excited about.
That is awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. And we'll have to do it again sometime.
Definitely. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of LMScast. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I hope you enjoyed the show. This show was brought to you by LifterLMS, the #1 tool for creating, selling, and protecting engaging online courses to help you get more revenue, freedom, and impact in your life. Head on over to LifterLMS.com and get the best gear for your course creator journey. Let's build the most engaging, results-getting courses on the internet.